And that smoke that you did there, like, really does nothing. I don't know what's the purpose of that smoke. Essentially, on the A set of Icebox, like, you know, we have this setup, double boobies, that we can use for the aggressive plays and also to completely stop and delay the enemy's push. We have this one way here that we can use for aggression, to play with the shotguns instead of this smoke and to also outplay the enemies. We have this smoke up here on the 410 generator, one way up here, one way up here, and sometimes I love to use this smoke and this smoke if I'm playing like basically with the shotguns on the side and I'm trying to close the gap with the enemies. But this smoke here, I don't know, like, plus you have the outlaw. Why would you smoke that? And when you have one smoke, you know, yeah, we can use the one there, it's okay. What's up, tricksters and tricksetters? Today, we have another VOD from Take It Easy. We already did like, I don't know, like 2 or 3 VOD reviews for this guy. Let's talk about Omen on Icebox immediately. You see a good pick on Icebox? Definitely. Up to Immortal 3, you can destroy the enemies. After Immortal 3, obviously, you need to learn how to play Viper, but you can still use Omen as well. Generally speaking, in ranked environment, team compositions don't matter at all. The only thing that matters is that you have a good controller for a specific map, and that's it. Let's see what he prepared for us. Is there any way to keep up and improve, even though I don't have much time to play the game? With proper time management, yes. But you know, if you want to consistently see some improvements in terms of your rank, you need to play at least like 3 matches per day, every single day. What's the best way to reset your mind, reflect each round so you don't make the same mistake next round? Map knowledge is very important. You need to understand what is the best idea to do in every single round based on your team composition, based on enemy's team composition, based on what happened in the previous rounds, and based on overall economy in the game. Now, when facing consecutive losing rounds, how can we creatively devise a strategy to counter the current situation? It really depends what happened in the previous rounds. We're gonna see in the VOD if that is actually present in the VOD. Now, I think I already reviewed your tracker at least like 2 times or 3 times. So yeah, the playtime is still horrible. If you're not playing at least like 2 games of Valorant per day, you cannot expect to improve and to rank up. Definitely your KST is not good. You know, team play game can be better. Like refrag potential can be better. You're probably dying in some stupid ways that you should not die. And that's it. Now, before we dive into this VOD review, let me tell you about an amazing software called Valorant Tracker by TRN, which you can download for free by using my link from the description. This application allows you to analyze yourself and to always understand on which fields you can improve as a SoloQ player. And in my private coaching sessions, this is the first thing that I analyze for my students. This software is also extremely useful to analyze your teammates and enemies during your live games, because already at the start, based on these statistics, you can instantly see which players are the weakness of yours or enemy team, which can increase your chances of winning if you use this data in the smart way. But beside all of that, Valorant Tracker also has integrated agent guides and lineups that can be extremely useful for players that are learning new characters, or that simply want to increase their game knowledge while they're actually playing the game. For an example, if you're playing Raze on Icebox and you have no idea how to use her utility on that map, in between rounds you can simply click on guides, find Raze, select the map that you're playing, and voila! You have some short guide and lineups that you can implement on both attackers and defenders side in real time, while majority of these guys have my coaching seal of approval. Even though this video is sponsored by Valorant Tracker, which I highly appreciate, and it will help me a lot if you use my link from the description to download the app for free, I truly believe that this software can give you an advantage in your SoloQ games and help you to improve faster. Icebox. So we already talked about Icebox, but I'm gonna, cover it one more time. A site is your default site on both attackers and defenders side. Secondary priority B site. Third priority mid area of the map. Generally speaking, on this map, the best idea is in the first round to hit A set S5, and then based on the first round you decide what you want to do in the second round, third round, fourth round, etc, etc. If you win the first round, in a second round go A again, and then in a third round, if you win the second round, you can go A set again and create this pattern of pushing where basically you push the same site 3 rounds in a row, and then in the fourth round we can do some kind of a fake onto the A site and push the B site. Whenever enemies are eco or halbye, you don't really need to contest the enemies on B and mid, unless enemies' defense on A is really good, or you think enemies are stacking the A site. Whenever enemies are eco or halbye on a defender side, just hit the A site, and you'll have higher chances of winning that round than going B. Whenever you are eco or half buy, you can do whatever you want, but it's better to, you know, lurk a bit more, maybe through mid, try to pressure the enemies on the B side. There's a lot of this close range corridor where you can maybe fuck up the enemies with the classic pistols. Shorty, Stinger, Spectre, Bulldog, whichever, you know, half buy, eco, and bonus guns you're using. So in the first round, with Omen, there's multiple things that you can do, to be honest. Like, in the first round, we can just buy a Sheriff. Because on the A side, the only important smoke, if you're pushing A, is the smoke for the screens here. And then, immediately from the first round, you can try to go, you know, for some one-taps. It is so easy to clear all of these positions, delete one enemy, and that's it. Now, once again, I need to repeat this. Whenever you're contesting the enemies on the A set of Icebox, avoid pushing through this A-link position. There's absolutely no reason to touch this area of the map at all, essentially. Push through the belt, and then you make a decision. Do I want to go through the belt, or I want to drop down? If you want to drop down, and then, you know, angle by angle, clear everything. Like, the worst thing you can do when you're pushing A set of Icebox is doing this. Being exposed to that. All of these angles. No reason to do that. It is much more cleaner and better if you just drop down, clear that, clear this, clear this, clear this, and then, you know, go up here to clear that position. And then we move forward. As I always say on Icebox, abusing verticality of the map is very important, especially when you're playing whichever agent you're playing. Like, you need to have the freedom in your movement to, you know, go through the ropes, like, to make any play, essentially. And proper crosshair placement is mega important in this map. How you clear the angles and how you place your crosshair is far more important than how you're pathing through a certain position. Like, if you're going through the belt, we need to place our crosshair here, flick to the enemies down. Then, for the headshot, flick on the enemies up. Then, for the window position. Then, for the off angle there. Then, for the bottom position there. Then, for the screen's headshot position there. Then, for the screen's position up here. Then, for that little off angle there. And then, we're moving forward with this type of a crosshair placement, clearing that angle and the angles at the pipes. So, in the first round, you can just do this. If you feel like an aim demon and you feel you're better than, you know, players in your elo. Second thing that you can do is, like, you can just buy a ghost with shrouded steps and 2 smokes. And for the first round, if I have 2 smokes, I will always place one of my smokes here. And the second smoke is gonna go, most of the times, I'm gonna do it like on top of the A nest, like this. Like, my main job in the first round is to cover as many angles as possible from the enemies. And with this, when you use this smoke, always go into the smoke, clear it yourself, and from this position we can easily contest the enemies and them up. Third thing that you can do is simply buying a classic light shield, 2 smokes, and 2 shrouded steps. If you feel afraid contesting the enemies with a classic pistol, going through the belt, simply just teleport into this, into this corner here. When you use this teleport to go into that position, use the teleport as a recon tool as well. Like, don't waste it. Like, basically, I will always reveal myself to the enemies, try to see where the fuck are the enemies. And then we're placing a smoke for the screens, smoke for the top of the 410 generator, and essentially moving up in the smoke. From this position, we can easily isolate the enemies into 1 versus 1 gunfights, try to fuck them up before they fuck up our teammates, enter the site for our allies, and of course, like, we can also go for display and immediately try to contest the enemies from behind. Also, when you have this smoke down here, from this position, we can easily teleport onto this position, use the smoke as a cover tool from the enemies in CT, and teleport here. And then from this position, clear the backside, clear the rafters, and try to take the space control. In the first round, generally you want to be a bit more selfish with your utility when you're playing Omen. If you're playing in the lobbies below Immortal 3, 300, 400 rank rating, like in the first round, half of your utility you're using for your teammates, half of your utility you're using for yourself. And trying to make the space and pressure the enemies yourself, because in the first 4 rounds, only God knows with what type of an idiots you're playing in this game, and how good or how bad your duelists are gonna be. The main benefit of Omen, you're a duelist, you're an initiator, controller, sentinel, whatever your team needs from you. Now remember, on the A side of Icebox, there are 5-6 smokes that you want to use in different combinations. Like this smoke is the most important, essentially to cover the backside and to cover the screens, so that we can isolate the bomb set in sectors. We want to fight for the sector 1, which is basically this sector right here. Then we are fighting the enemies in the sector number 2, and then we have the sector number 3. And as your teammates are moving in, you want to move with your teammates. So basically, you want to reach this position and move with your teammates into sector 2 above them as they're pathing into the pipes and into the site. Then, when your teammates are fighting for the sector 3 or moving into the site, you also want to move above them, go into the nest, and from the nest try to support your teammates at the backside or clearing this angle and clearing the CT positions. This smoke, most important smoke for the A site. This smoke, most important smoke for the B site. Your secondary smoke, you want to do based on which guns you have, which round you're playing, and where the fuck enemies are fucking up your teammates. You know, what type of execute you want to do. Now let's see what he's gonna do.
What's up, tricksters? My name is Charlatan. I'm an all-time Radiant player since closed beta and the #1 most experienced Valorant coach. If you enjoy this type of content, don't forget to leave a like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon. If you're interested in coaching yourself, be sure to join my official Discord over at discord.gg/charlatan. Some of the coaches and pro players that you're watching today were actually the students of Papito. Other than that, enjoy in this one, baby. Listen, if you're playing a double controller setup and you're playing Omen with Viper on Icebox, primarily use your utility for yourself and to fuck up the enemies. You know, like don't overstack the smokes. If your Viper is already doing this wall, you don't need to use the smoke in the screens. In this round, if I have a Viper on Icebox, you can also just buy a Paranoia and 2 smokes. Like you don't need to try the steps then. If you're playing a double controller setup on Icebox, you can buy a classic light shield, 2 smokes Paranoia, push through the elbow, pre-aim at that position, through the belt, sorry, drop down, clear that spot, this spot, this spot, this spot, clear the top of the tower, move up here through the boxes. Then we can easily use a smoke for the rafters, maybe use this smoke right here to block the vision of the enemies there, flash the backside or the site, take the ropes, clear the pipes, clear this, clear that. Enemies cannot play there because of your one-way smoke. Easy kill. Enemies cannot play here because you can easily kill them. And then also what we can do, because of this smoke here, we can basically use the ropes to jump all the way here, try to surprise the enemies, and that is it. Okay, nice refrag, I love it. Move, take more space, like, when the Viper is here, your Sky is here, so you have a teammate that is, like, here and here. Get at least on top of this box here, you know, on this position, and try to clear this spot for your allies. And then, you know, you're gonna give your teammates a confidence to push in, to support you. You don't need to fight the enemies, you know, you can wait to see if enemies are gonna make some kind of a mistake, what type of fight your teammates are gonna take. But you need to give your teammates at least a fake confidence to move with you. Because if you just stay here, Viper is fighting a solo fight in this area of the map. Sky is fighting a solo fight in this area of the map. And you're not going to be able to refrag them. Like, there's no... Like, you're holding nothing. Like, literally. Like, on this position, you cannot support your allies properly. You're holding nothing. Like, your teammates are already holding this angle. Viper and Jet are pushing in, you know. Like, you should have taken slightly more space from the enemies.
One enemy remaining.
Not okay, your teammates took the frags. Now, you win the first round of Icebox. In the second round, you're buying either Bulldog, Guardian, or Outlaw. I personally prefer Outlaw, because it is so easy to gather kills on some of these common positions. You just go for the body shots. Even in the bonus round, like, this weapon is fucking broken, to be honest. General, ultimately best choice is the Bulldog, because it allows you to fight long-range gunfights easily, to fight, like, close-range gunfights, and It's the best weapon you have against the enemies that have like Vandals and Phantoms if you're abusing the long range gunfights. But of course, you know, Guardian is also fine if you feel confident in your mechanical skill. I mean, Stinger is also fine, but, you know, Bulldog is really like Giga Chat weapon on this map. And Outlaw as well. Like, first of all, whenever you want to use some kind of a utility in Valorant, I mean, for a Diamond player, this should not be happening. Like, you're never holding that ability until the moment of time when you're ready to use it. It doesn't matter if you want to do a one-way smoke, if you want to do, like, I don't know, Paranoia or Shrouded Steps. Like, you pull out the utility when you're ready to use that utility. I don't know, like, what the fuck is this, like? You know, why did you pull out the Paranoia here? To flash on the contact of Skydog? Why? Well, just move with your teammates. Pick up the guns. Anyways, listen. When the enemies are equal in hull buy, your primary focus is gunplay and refrag game. You don't need to outplay the enemies. You don't need to do any aggressive plays. Like, just use the most default utility on a specific bomb site. Make sure that you have a proper distance between yourself and the most aggressive ally, and that's it. Listen, if your teammates are pushing through mid, you need to give them some smoke. You know, depending what is the strategy and what we want to do. Like, we either need to have a boiler smoke, or we need to have, like, a Trilane smoke right here. Like, I would never allow, against the enemies that have better guns than me, to contest me in this fight. Let's use a smoke, like, you know, maybe on top of the boiler to eliminate at least one angle, so we can easily clear this area of the map, and maybe decide to push through the kitchen, under the tube, split the map, whatever. When your team is taking the mid control, generally a good idea with Omen is to teleport on top of the tube. Always teleport inside of this corner so that you're not visible from the enemies. And then from this position, let's clear the boiler. Let's clear that spot. Let's clear the kitchen. And remember just one thing. As soon as the enemies reveal you on this position, you don't want to stay on this position for too long. Like, basically on this spot, you want to play maximum for like 2 or 3 seconds after the enemies reveal you, because you're mega overexposed. If you don't have the cover from your teammates, you're just gonna get absolutely cucked on this position. You don't need the mid-air smoke here to teleport there. I mean, if you teleport here, enemies don't see you from this position in boiler. Like, there's no way. Like, you know, you're absolutely hidden on this spot. Okay. Now, this second fight that you have taken with the Killjoy, I don't like it at all. Whenever you can make a certain fight work in your favor, do it. Like, here, I would have pulled out the Paranoia, flashed the shit out of this Killjoy, and take the easiest frag possible. Okay, now, this... that's a mistake. Listen. Whenever something like this happens to you, we kill 2 enemies in mid. Like, this is really hard to communicate, sometimes, in solo queue. But this is usually the best idea. So, you play some kind of a default like 1-3-1, or, you know, 3-1-1, or you decide to do a 5-man push through mid, like we did right now, and we trade a few numbers with the enemies, a few blows. Like, we killed 1 enemy here, we killed 1 enemy here, and there's, you know, our Killjoy is here, Jet is here, we're on top of the tube. In this type of situations, it is always the best idea to completely reset the round. Like, basically, hey guys, let's regroup towards the B main and towards the A main area of the map and hit the bomb sites like the round has just started. Enemies will always need to waste, especially on the Icebox, at least 1 or 2 players watching in the mid area of the map checking the kitchen, and that type of shit, we fully clear all of the positions from which enemies can backstab us and make the sandwich out of us, like we clear our whole, anal cavity. We're not risking any 1 versus 1 gunfights with the enemies, and also our teammates don't have a chance to make some kind of a solo mistake. You're keeping your teammates in check. Here, another mistake that you're making is like fighting the enemies from the same positions from which you fought like already 2 enemies. Like after every single gunfight, you should be changing your position. Like here, repeating the boiler after you already got 2 kills from the top of the tube. Of course, like enemy Phoenix is gonna be ready for you. I don't know why you're even peeking. Like you just got a kill. Reset yourself. Chill, man. Like we are 3 versus 2. We have 1 minute 20 seconds to plant the spike. We don't need to like do anything. Like the round is already over. We can win it easily. Good.
One flanking for me.
Listen, man, like, let's think about it. We know that Phoenix is playing A site. We know that Viper ulted on A, and Killjoy is probably in the kitchen. We know that Reyna is on the B site alone right now. Let's immediately take more space from the enemies. Why are we wasting our time? Like, one of the main benefits of this smoke right here is that you can always, when you're executing the B site, just teleport here, and you can easily cross, this segment with this trilane smoke, like this. And then maybe you can surprise the enemies in the CT, maybe you can surprise the Reyna that is on site and allow your teammates to rotate. Maybe we can surprise the Killjoy that's in kitchen, but at least we're trying to do something. I don't know, like, you need to read the enemy's positioning a bit more, like during the rounds. Like, how many players they play B, how many players they play A. If the Cypher is playing B, where is the Killjoy playing? Like, those are the notes that you should be taking for yourself. We're letting them rotate and just, we're not taking any space. Okay, listen. I'll share with you the Icebox playbook with Omen, but I just want to give out general tips on a defender's side. A site, your primary focus, your default site. We play A site whenever we have no idea what the enemies are going to do next. And basically, like, when you have no idea what you should do next, essentially. Having the information in the mid area of the map, and whether or not there are some enemies lurking through kitchen and tube, is very important. So we need to have some kind of a sentinel's utility there, or some teammate. If you don't see all of the enemies pushing the bomb site, we need to pre-assume always that one enemy might be in the kitchen, under the tube, inside of the tube, or lurking and flanking towards the A-link and A site. Now, you play the B site, primarily when the enemies are eco or halbay, because it makes more sense for them to pressure us in mid and onto the B site. And essentially, like in the first round, you have like 6-7 different strategies that you can do with Omen. And I'm gonna cover all of them in my ranked playbook next week, but you already got the Icebox exclusive coaching video, so you know what what you can do. Personally, my favorite strategy with Omen on Icebox is classic, light shield, 2 smokes and 2 shrouded steps, or shorty with 2 smokes, paranoia, and a shrouded step. Classic here, shorty in the hands. Enemies are pushing into the A site. Smoke this, play on top of the 410 generator, kill this enemy, or try to kill the enemies that are passing in. We can also buy a frenzy. It is also fine. So we can play classic, light shield, 2 smokes, 2 shrouded steps, shorty, 2 smokes, paranoia, shrouded step, or frenzy, 2 smokes and 2 shrouded steps, actually, yeah. So, first smoke goes here as a one-way. Second smoke here goes here as a one-way. You're trying to wait for the enemies that are using the ropes. If none of the enemies are using the ropes, you want to pick a timing to kill the enemies here, there, or there. After a kill, we can immediately try to teleport somewhere to surprise the enemies, additionally, or we can use a fake shrouded step to make them think that we went somewhere and just shit on them. The same shit you can use in eco rounds and halberd rounds. Like, there's a lot of confusion. It's so easy to outplay the enemies, like, the more confused you make them. We got someone banned. This is okay, what he's doing right now. Only because enemies don't have a single initiator, you know, like... generally, I don't like playing around this smoke, because this smoke heavily gets cleared with the enemy's utility. They're gonna spam you, and... not really the best idea ever, but okay, let's see how it goes. Ooh, I reload! Listen, if you, just one extra tip. If you already want to do this in the first round, do this. So, start the round with a classic pistol in your hands, and just do this. So we have classic pistol there, and we use the smoke like this, and then you can play inside of the smoke, bop, kill one enemy, and instantly have a classic pistol to, you know, contest the rest of the enemies. But good job, good job. Enemies play this very bad. Now, why the fuck are we in this position?
Chill.
Like, one thing that I recommend you, if you notice that your teammates are pushing the B site of Icebox, and you're playing A side with Omen, give them some kind of a one-way smoke. Because in this round, it's a 50-50 chance that enemies are gonna push A side or B side. I don't know what they're gonna push, basically, based on the current information. And if I already decide to play A side in this round, I have the Viper wall for myself. You can start the round like by pre-placing a one-way smoke maybe for this position. Is like you can give them this one-way smoke here, this one-way smoke here, and previously there was a one-way up here, but this one-way doesn't work anymore. This one-way here you can use yourself if you want to go for some aggressive play like this, and basically fuck up the enemies there, or fuck up the enemies here. So maybe, you know, if you're starting passively on the A side, your teammates are pushing B, you know, maybe you can give them one of these one-ways, you know, maybe one way on the doorway there, and they're gonna have easier time taking the full B main control and maybe fucking up the enemies. It's okay that he's playing A set right now, like literally, you know, whatever. You definitely need to train your like reaction time a bit more, man. Like your reaction time is not, you know, you cannot hold these angles that I'm holding, like, and also like whenever you're holding this, you know, tighter angles, I always like, I mean that's not tight at all, but whatever. Like you know, if I'm holding some kind of an angle like this, I always place my crosshair towards the furthest enemy peak. So if the enemy is peeking from left to right, my crosshair is on the right position, and my eyes are right here. And on the first pixel of the enemies, I'm making some kind of a reaction. Now, when you're repositioning, especially with snipers on the A side, don't reposition in the, you know, at the back side. You know, at the 410 generator. Whenever you're repositioning with Omen on A side of Icebox, from these, you know, off angles and elevated positions, always on top of the rafters, and from the rafters, you're trying to find an angle to basically delete the enemies. You're gonna have a Viper wall, enemy Viper wall. From this position, you see all of the peaks and pushes of the enemies. Easy kills. Maybe. We'll see. And that smoke that you did there, like, really does nothing. I don't know what's the purpose of that smoke. Essentially, on the A set of Icebox, like, you know, we have this setup, double boobies, that we can use for the aggressive plays and also to completely stop and delay the enemy's push. We have this one way here that we can use for aggression, to play with the shotguns instead of this smoke and to also outplay the enemies. We have this smoke up here on the 410 generator, one way up here, one way up here, and sometimes I love to use this smoke and this smoke if I'm playing like basically with the shotguns on the side and I'm trying to close the gap with the enemies. But this smoke here, I don't know, like, plus you have the outlaw. Why would you smoke that? And when you have one smoke, you know, yeah, we can use the one there, it's okay. That was a bit unlucky, but generally speaking, the main mistake here is like, where do you reposition after you took the shots onto enemies. Okay, I think we discussed every important topic for this VOD review. Thank you for watching this. Leave a like, leave a subscribe, leave a comment, join my Discord server, submit your place of the day. Like basically, you get $10 free Valorant points if you get, you know, chosen by the community. Guess the ranks, VOD reviews, that type of stuff. All of the good stuff is on Discord. I love you all. Take care.